in way too deep, and I'm drowning in devotion. I'm lost, can't find a new emotion that's ever enough, and I can't deny it's real, 'cause there's no deeper. Oh baby, yeah. 'Cause there's no deeper love than what we're feeling. There's no deeper
Yes, you're very quite tough, always having bad luck. You think you're going crazy, look up, there's a new life waiting. Your head's buried in the sand, you've been dealt the wrong hand. Can't imagine how you feel, only you know that it's real. Don't look back.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. We apologize for the delay, but apparently Dapper couldn't figure out how to work Mumble. For all the years he's been playing Counter-Strike, could not figure out how to get back into that server. So he's into it now. We're going to be starting momentarily. It's GX versus Naventic. I'm Topical. Joined with me is Evan Emo.
How's it going?
It's going, man.
You know, I saw American Made the other day, that Tom Cruise movie.
Oh, it's the new one, right?
Yeah, where he plays Barry Seal, the CIA informant. That's a good one.
Spoiler
That's a
alert.
good one. Oh, I mean, no, that's not a spoiler alert. That's the premise of the movie.
I thought you were about to drop the bomb on us. Like, he's actually a bad guy. He's actually a good guy. I don't know. I don't know the premise of the movie. I didn't grow up in the coke running days of the 70s and 80s. Yeah, that wasn't my cup of tea, man. But Naventic, starting off CT, Arya is going to be your man with the kit at Ticket Booth. A three-man stack over towards the Windows side of things. There's going to be impsta, TenZ included with Psalm right here, so a big, heavy mid-presence and then a 1-1 defense on either side for Naventic. Kind of a reactionary defense, keeping all your kind of eggs in one basket here at mid.
I like this from GX. Just waiting on any info they can get. If there's an aggro, they'll find out, they'll be able to adapt. They have a nade set on 2 of their players, so whatever site they go to, should be a fairly easy take here. A little bit of contact made towards that lower B by Pollo.
Yeah, damage for damage, tit for tat. 40 damage for 16 or 15 against Impsta, no big deal. The T's wrap around back towards the A site. It's going to be Arya here, like I mentioned. Man with the kit, man with the plan, and a man with enough distance to do a lot of work against these T's from Ticket Booth. And there are smokes. I'm certain one of those smokes is going to be committed to the Ticket Booth side, the other one likely for jungle or stairs should be enough to get the bomb plant at least. Here comes the smokes raining in. Here comes the reactionary team. All three players now coming across jungle, but a pre-fire. Som rounds the corner, catches one to the face as impsta catches Pollo. I like this. Three players just timing their shots through the smoke. Now Dapper comes across, he'll find himself 2 frags. And now with him embedded into the jungle, that basically catches the rotators. And it's going to be TenZ on the front line to take him, but he takes those 2. Now Fighter's in behind him. They made a situation that was dire actually look recoverable at this point. The kit's been dropped again, but Fighter finds one, looking for the last. It's Dapper alone. Kit recovered. Dapper finds his way to the stairs as Fighter finds the kit, now has to find the last player. A smoke in desperation to touch the bomb. Possibly he sticks this. Dapper switches rifles, now pulling the knife out, stabbing, and will get the last frag nonetheless. That
Good
was
choice.
That was a hopeful situation for Fighter.
If Dapper chose to stay there and put out that USP damage, he probably wouldn't have got Fighter there, and Fighter would have got the defuse. Great choice from Dapper, risking it all, going for the knife, getting GX to piss around, and starting off this T side well.
Right. Weapons for GX. Not as many weapons for Naventic. They just got pistols. CZ seems to be the flavor of the month for Counter-Strike. CT side. GX are just going to fan out. Make sure that no blood is let to their side for unwarranted pushes or any CT aggression. They'll be met in kind. So GX will bide their time on this map of Mirage and talk about how things are going to devolve from here on out. I think the real resistance that Naventic will be able to put up is actually when their rifles come to fruition 2 rounds from now.
Arya did full save off that death. He's going to most likely get a knock going into that first gun round. That's going to be good. They're going to need it. GX looking like they're going to be able to farm up really well into these eco rounds and pick up that op onto the first gun round.
There was one miscued smoke that came out to the B site, so GX don't have quite all their cards lined up. They clear off the site. Fighter's here. He's got the CZ, but not a deep magazine. It's only met with 1 kill. Dapper now throwing a Molotov into the market. Impsta comes out swinging. They've got a kill, and a couple players up close. Possibility to do work, but now TenZ is alone. 1v3. Nearly was able to find that last magazine, but GX find 2.
Yeah, that's a decent eco. GX losing 2 people. You want to keep at least 4. Obviously, 5 would be perfect. 4 people is great. 3 people is decent. Any more than that, you're looking at a bad eco. GX keeping 3 people alive is a good job. Now, full eco on the Naventic side. Hopefully, we see Pollo frag out and farm him some money.
Yeah, Pollo will be just the man up front. AZK would probably be that second tip of the spear, but this 4-man stack and push. 3 of them pushing in. They might catch him with aircraft on deck. The grenades were just then being thrown. Now the site is the T side, but weapons recovered make this recovery all that much more possible. They get kills. Now Som's AK coming around is looking for DaZeD. He's at 30 HP, and the Molotov's pushing him out. 25 HP, gets a grenade, but the pre-fire on Som just clearing out every angle. There was nowhere left for DaZeD to hide. A pretty bad situation turned on its head. It's only Pollo left. The man we said would be the tip of the spear is now trying to pick up the pieces for the team.
But Som's positioning here in the firebox, impsta on that Tetris.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, what an eco round from Naventic. Full eco, A-ramp push, catching GX out after those nades get thrown. Turning that round on its head.
Exactly that. The timing couldn't have been any better for Naventic. Honestly, it seems to me that Naventic had done their homework and seen the timing routes for GX and decided, hey, we're going to push up at so-and-so seconds and so-and-so minute and then be able to pick up the kills with as they were starting to throw the grenades. So I like that. That actually shows a lot of promise for Naventic. They've got the weapon advantage most certainly here. Arya with the op on mid. Searching. But there is a lot of smoke out in mid right now. I won't be able to see much of anything. Som's in the ladder room, giving some secondary support to him as GX start to posture themselves in mid as well as underneath that window. Smoke in the window room. What are you doing, Arya? Looks like he's finding more kills. Got over towards the catwalk side. First drop of blood against GX. They've got these weapons, but the 2 AKs they invested in this round are still standing. They got one CZ kill for Dapper paired up with Koyo right there. But you are just down to those 2 weapons. Now just one. DaZeD alone, last man standing. Catches Psalm out to dry at the ladder room, but he's still surrounded, and he would have to go back to recover the bomb. With only 40 seconds left, that would be his first priority shortly to follow.
They don't know the bomb's down here, upper B. DaZeD could make something of this, but with 30 seconds left, we might see him opt to save just because he's going to have to start running, making a lot of noise. And it looks like he is going to go for it. So Fighter being the only guy on that site, actually Arya rotating around now too. So Arya is probably not even going to let DaZeD into the site.
He's got the angle. The timing was almost there. DaZeD was able to post up with his AK just as Arya started to look towards his attention to arches. But it's 2-2. And GX's economy is not good enough. They went for the pistol armor as well as some AK armor in that last round. They're going to have to yield here with about $2,000 per player. 1 smoke purchased. Now they go. 3 smokes purchased. That is going to be enough possibly to get your bomb plant down. That will net you a positive result, at least the bottom line economically speaking. And they want to A.
And now on the Naventic side, you have the option. Do you frag out? Looks like that's what the choice is. Or would you have played the retake? Impsta going down. Oh my gosh.
Didn't even have a chance. Swag's got a kill as well with that recovered M4. Dapper's picking up kills with a pistol. They get into the site. They make it look so easy. In fact, Impsta was the frontline player right there, and it was just a taste of their own medicine. He got caught out with a grenade in hand underneath Palace as well. So 4-on-2. Fighter and Psalm. Yeah, looking for it. Yeah, there's a flank coming all the backside of CT right now, that being Dapper. Fighter is at ticket booth, and he is most certainly going to be next up on menu. DaZeD is going to be flushed out. Throws a flashbang up in the air. So Cleo's traded out. Looks like Psalm will take 2 frags of his own. It's a 1-on-1 all of a sudden. Psalm trying to find all 4 kills. He would need the 4-piece to save the day. Dapper has some time spraying through the smoke. Dapper is still trying to spray through just to kill. And we'll get that one again. So just as we saw in, I believe, the first round, an attempted smoke diffuse. That was his only hope there as well.
And I was kind of getting into what I was going to talk about on those eco rounds. You have the option there to either commit a guy to the site or play a retake fully scenario, let GX get the bomb down, and then you get to play that, you know, your rifles to your advantage, come up, take those long distance fights. They committed Impsta to that ramp. He messes up that nade, kind of gets caught in the middle of it. Swag gets himself that first kill, picks up another kill, and really opens that site for GX. Now you're down in a 3v4 situation, and we saw Dapper pull off that lovely flank, and GX, another eco round. 2 ecos from both these teams to start, an eco each from both these teams to start this first half.
Kind of washes out. Phil and Naventic are on the backside of this trade, I think. Saw him with a nice peek.
Oh,
Catches
man.
Poyo out, as it looks like the aggression was on all fronts. Currently, the only surviving pressure is Psalm with his AK. While the other side, back towards T Apartments, is Dapper. He's next to that TV. Looks like they've just got good post up. GX recognize that it's aggression on all fronts, or at least most fronts, and they react appropriately.
And they are falling back. They have Naventic split up. With an exception towards A. We do have stairs and the balcony playing together. However, when that A execute does come out, and it looks like it will be anytime soon, we're going to need to see TenZ come up big with that deagle on the connector side. Because Arya with that USP, I don't see him netting himself too many kills. Oh, he looks like he's going to go for a knife maybe, even if he could. Did Swag hear him pull out the knife?
I doubt it. He hears footsteps. So Arya knows that it's going to be the A site execution. Swag's here. Arya, yeah, his attention was baited back towards the A ramp. He dies. It's now just Fighter alone, 1v4 with a CZ. Not enough bullets to get this job done whatsoever. Maybe pick up a frag. He watches Swag get just into the palace, so he knows intel of 1 player. But they likely know that he's going to be jungle or somewhere near connector because they've already pushed into CT. Swag's clearing out his angles methodically. This is going to be a round for GX, obviously, at this point. But when can Naventic get rifles of their own? Next round seems to be what they've got. And can they get the op in play, however? They can, indeed. But do they? Yeah, they do. Arya's on it.
TenZ ends up with a Famis, not the worst thing in the world. The op going up against 5 AKs, or 5 rifles, I should say, on the GX side. Will it be able to do work? And that's what you want. The op is really at an advantage going into this round.
Lots of smoke. It's in the mid. Arya tries to time it through the smoke. Won't find any luck there. The Molotov, though, will push DaZeD out, but he throws the smoke at his own feet. So a lot of money being thrown at mid right now, just in the aspect of utility. And Arya is poking holes in the walls, looking for something. Now as the air clears, Arya is going to have a little bit of line of sight, but they've just left DaZeD at top mid right now. Maybe they'll use him later. They would look like they want to posture for a wrap into the A site through Palace, A main, as well as connector. So this leaves DaZeD a little bit alone. And without any utility of his own to block off Catwalk, it'd be pretty dangerous to take that aspect. And he wisely backs up and will join his team momentarily.
He's most likely going to do a little bit of a late lurk here. He's going to watch that upper B push, watch that middle push, and then hopefully strike. He may even lurk upper B, jump out B tunnels, and then lurk late cat. So be ready here. Looks like he's getting in position for something big.
I'm ready.
Here comes the A hit.
Yeah, they hit. I guess DaZeD is just kind of a pawn off the end of the map. They push the bomb up into Tetris, and likely the spot is as you see Naventic pushing all the way in. A 1-for-1 exchange onto the site. How many more bodies can GX get? They're going to need it. As these smokes begin to fade, they're going to start to find themselves a little bit in a tough position. Smokes do fade now. It's a clear sight. Molotovs into the firebox leaves Pollo out. A dangerous position at that. But DaZeD's long and time-consuming flank is about to come to fruition. He's going to catch 2 players out in front of him on the top end of connector, but he needs to strike now. His teammates are starting to crumble. DaZeD has the first, looking for the follow-up kill, but it's now just DaZeD. 1v3. They know exactly where he's at. He's got the first, but Arya on top of the stairs finds the response, and the rounds will continue to scatter back and forth. 2, 2, 2, and now 1 more into Naventic's pocket list.
Great lurk from DaZeD. Unfortunately, his team not able to get even 1 kill in that post-plant situation. DaZeD really had to do all the heavy lifting there. Unfortunately, not able to lift it all as he's taken down. Naventic picking up that 3rd round. And look at that economy. Everybody's looks like both teams now. Whoever's taking this round is forcing the other team onto either a force buy or a full save.
Yeah, this is a big one. According to tradition, it should be Naventic that wins, according to pattern. But I love it from both teams. Both teams have very similar setups. Rifles, op, 1 ump. I mean, the money just not all there with this back and forth cat and mouse gameplay. I mean, DaZeD tried to get a little bit cheeky last round with the delayed flank to come in, but the front line couldn't hold without him. So I like this. Look, yeah, boost. Threw A main up on top of the ledge to try and wrap around.
Oh, no. They made so much noise.
They flubbed that one.
Wisely getting out of there, because not only did they get heard from Swag and Halls, look at GX rotating it around. They come back for the fight. Are they going to stay?
Overstayed their welcome. Here's a pop flash. TenZ's pop flash not deep enough. It does get DaZeD, but it doesn't get AZK. But TenZ has some 5.56 ready for him. Dropping in another pop flash. DaZeD is able to turn, and a smoke on top of the bomb. If the CT rotation happens, you know what? There's going to be a backstab because Pollo's in the B site right now. With 30-some seconds left, this noose is going to have to happen very quickly, and cinch down it will, but Pollo's starting to walk things out. The bomb was recovered, actually, right out from under TenZ's nose, and it's going to go over towards the B site for the time being. Pollo has the rotations completely cut off. It's just an intelligent play from GX.
Good patience from Pollo. Good patience from GX, not forcing on the A site. And now look at that. Bomb's going to go down with 5 seconds left. Pollo gets 2 frags, turns the round in his favor, a 3rd now, and essentially secures the round for GX. Great job from Pollo there. Love that B lurk.
But Naventic got a little bit baited, overconfident by the fact that they had bomb control at A main. They threw the smoke down on the bomb itself, and that allowed GX to ever so slowly creep their way in, grab the bomb, and get back towards the B site, because it had been abandoned because Naventic had the intel. They had the bomb. They trusted that call too much.
Yeah, and in those situations, personally, for me at least, if we don't have control of the bomb, or if the rotations take too long to come in to protect the bomb, it's better to just forfeit it, play your number advantage, give them the bomb, and then go ahead and play the late round, because at that point, by the time they got into the B site, there was only 5 seconds left. So imagine if they, after getting that frag, just fall into default, everybody holds their spots. Maybe Pollo doesn't even get his lurk off. So Naventic getting a little bit too eager to get to that bomb, Pollo taking advantage of it. Great round for GX here, and now we see a force buy on the Naventic side.
Yeah, they want this bad. I guess they feel confident enough. They spawned DaZeD up in the apartments. He's got a lot of company up here. A lot of guests that found parking to get into these. But 2 defenders on B, it seems right now. That is 10. Som as well as Fighter. And Arya got that kill with the op. So now the jig's up. GX know that there was a rebuy into this round. They might slow things down. They might just collect their forces and overwhelm. The B site's so hard to get into. I feel like if you're going to be outnumbered on some of these strategies, the A site might be a little bit more appropriate to come at. So Som and Fighter, like I mentioned, your frontline defense. Fighter's still jump peeking this one. The AK shot rattles off the back end of the van, and there's a molly execution in. Som underneath the window. AZK is about to jump out of this one. Dapper as well. They're possibly waiting for this Molotov to extinguish itself. It does. They've picked up the next frag, and now it's trouble. Fighter on site with the CZ, looking as best as he can, but AZK has him dead to rights. This Molotov is going to be a day late and $1 short, and Naventic's buy so far in this round is left a little bit short. Basically all up to Arya, and he's toast. Ace has the frag, and now your guys with pistols are caught up on the site itself. TenZ has the kit. He's making his way to the bomb. Impsta's got a frag. It's 2-on-2. It's still possible, but they gotta get on that bomb, and to do so, they need kills. It's all up to now Pollo, who's got a molly in hand. There's the kill, but do they have the smoke? Does he stick it? He does stick it. It doesn't quite burn him in time. I don't know how Naventic retake that site with 2 pistols and an op.
Unfortunately, Pollo up top was looking a little bit too much for a kill, not playing with that molly, because he had the chance to close out that round very early. If he had dropped that Molotov as soon as maybe even the second person left with him made contact, very different round, most likely a win on the GX side. And now we see the force going the other way. These rounds are so close here in front of us.
Right, but we also have to remember the fact that of the past 3 rounds, 3 bomb plants have happened. So GX is finding some consistency. No matter how bloody these teams get, GX are going to have a little bit of extra source of income to go for themselves. Looks like they want A, but you know what? They're going to walk into an ambush. This is a 4-man stack to the A site, and they are in first. Pollo's got the first kill. Impsta's in sandwich. He's got 1 kill, and he peeks out wide. He's looking real wide. The CTs are losing the edge, and it's now a 2-on-3, and both of these guys have some FOMI, but no utility at all. They honestly don't even have a kit. The grenade finishes off the job, and it's just Fighter, the kid out in front of him. But he needs bodies, and he's not going to find them. Rounds back and forth. Where they stop, I have no idea.
I want to say Naventic had a little less FAMASes, a little more M4s in that round. That could have been different. GX did a really good job with those AKs, just getting up close, and honestly, that explosive A hit, Naventic couldn't really stop it there. There was nothing they could do. They're onto the eco now. A couple force spies on their side as well, with Fighter and Som. Arya going down early, and now GX is playing that slow, methodical play we see from them week in and week out.
Yeah, we've seen eco rounds, so I mean, you never count Naventic out. They won that retake 2 rounds ago at this point, with 1 op and 2 pistols in the Molotov while defusing the bomb. And we've seen eco rounds go both ways for both teams. It's odd, to say the least, and it's just a little bit rusty Counter-Strike, it seems, from both sides. I like to see things buttoned up a little bit. You don't lose your anti-ecos, you just win rounds convincingly, at least. But right now, I like this from GX. They push up. Now, they leave Pollo embedded into connector. He's fantastic right here.
No.
But yeah, there's a flank coming in. Impsta, it does his best, and I think he even got a little bit extra damage against AZK right there. With bombs spotted, nobody's rotating fully quite yet. Kind of passive on the B side now. Things started to be pretty obvious at this point. It's going to be an A execute, and the only reason that devolved was because they didn't have the rifles to stop the front line on GX. He had 1 more bullet. Poyo was
GX is doing a pretty standard default here. Getting out the mid control. What they're doing is they're either lurking somebody into the cat room, lurking somebody into the connector, then they're pulling back on the round, and from there they're executing on A, allowing the lurk in the connector, lower B or cat area to really take advantage of any rotating CTs. So look for GX to do that, maybe again this round, because it's working phenomenally for them.
Just pistols. Very weak. Poyo's got the first. Seems to be pretty.
There you go. They're already falling back.
And yes, smoke comes in now. Psalm's just completely out alone right now. But Arya takes the bold manner, jumps out of the window, and actually gets a kill against Poyo. But you know, it might be water under the bridge. If Naventic want to have a successful eco round, they need one more kill. I would say you want to get at least 2 more kills, but 1 more kill would still be asking quite a bit. It's going to be up to Arya's stolen AK and some of the Deagle to do a lot of work. Dapper on the high end, though, will just transfer to 1-2. 8th round for GX. They've at least secured themselves victory on the half.
Big buy round coming up here. It's like as if we're seeing the first gun round now on the Naventic side. So if GX do win this round, Naventic back on that save round. And GX in prime position to take a 10-5 half. We have a pause coming out. Not sure if this is a tech or a tech. Either way, I'm sure they're going to use this time regardless on the Naventic side to hash it out. Discuss what they can do better this round.
Yeah, this is a pretty important one. So the rounds that have happened for Naventic have not been all that convincing. We see their first victory in the 3rd round. They had 2 survivors, and they got the one behind that with 3, but they had trouble converting yet again. Then things staggered back and forth, and the only time Naventic were able to find success again was on some retakes, and some pretty sketchy retakes at that. I think one of those was one they didn't quite deserve. It should have been GX having that one. Multiple opportunities to stop that one round where they defused in the Molotov. If the Molotov was thrown earlier, or if the guys with rifles were able to stop the onslaught of the pistols that were coming at him, plus Arya's op. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities to do that round in just fine. They just dropped the ball.
Definitely agree with that. I mean, yeah, like you're saying, just dropping the ball leads you into a situation like this. And a half that could be a lot closer, maybe even you taking the lead, is now looking like GX might end up running away with it.
So what do they do? Put Arya in the window. Do they play him a little bit more aggressive? Maybe he jumps into the connector and tries to pick off somebody coming across the top end of mid. Because GX have really been throwing the same smokes. They throw the smoke out of T-spawn, lands on catwalk. They push up. They take the top mid control. You see a Molotov come out of Arya to top end boxes. It is of no use we've seen so far because it doesn't quite flush anybody out into a position to be shot. So I actually would anticipate Naventic playing a little bit more aggressive with their rifles. We've seen them get a little bit aggressive with some pistols and some SMGs like the UMP and such, but it hasn't quite met its match. I mean, they've found some success. I think it can be leveraged with rifles.
Well, we saw that aggressive A ramp round, right? Where they actually got the bomb control. However, a little bit of eagerness towards rotating the bomb, that's where they get caught out. So I just feel like the little things in this match are what are losing Naventic these rounds.
Yeah, you know, I don't think they're quite on aiming potential against GX. I think you're gonna have to outbrain your opponents a little bit and use that utility to what it's designed for. GX is honestly using quite a bit of...
Aim-wise, I'm going to say Naventic definitely can throw down. TenZ, Fighter, and Som. Those guys are some nice aimers, in my opinion.
AZK,
at least.
I feel like AZK, Swag, and more recently Poyo are able to capitalize on
I'd look at Swag, Poyo, Dapper as the main fraggers on GX, and then we look at DaZeD as the IGL, and AZK is kind of that all-around type player. Not necessarily the fragger, not necessarily a support player, not necessarily the entry, but he'll take on whatever role is necessary. Just a very well-rounded player. And the same applies onto the Naventic side, with impsta being a more well-rounded player, and Arya taking that IGL role.
If I remember right, I mean, it was AZK last week against...
Oh, don't get me wrong. He can definitely go off.
Yeah, he went.
He can definitely go off. I'm
ham.
not taking nothing against one of the greatest Source players to ever play the game. Definitely not doing that.
So let's see what happens. Impsta and TenZ are headed into connector, and surprise, surprise, there's a Molotov there to stop that aggression. Impsta, though, pushes through it with TenZ. Here's the aggression I was looking for. Is it actually evolving? Flashbangs are in, and they're going to get a better look at this one. That smoke that they threw at the bottom of connector is enough to give them cover back up into the A site. That could have been a little bit scary.
And once again, they're pulling off that mid-pressure into that A execute. That round, they're not able to get anybody into the connector. So, hell, you know what? We've been working it so much, they'll probably think somebody's lurking it. Let's just send 5 towards A.
Last time they walked into the A site, there was a pretty good stack. 4 players from Naventic on this A site. This time, though, it's Arya that draws first with that op from Ticket Booth. Attempt flashbangs in to slow down the push. Smokes are still all over the site. TenZ is peeking out wider and wider. Swag will take that victory. The anchor on the B site still remains. That's Fighter waiting for the call. Nobody's quite seen the bomb yet. The Fighter has to fall back now. It's a 3-man retake against the 4 defenders of GX soon enough. As soon as this bomb does go down, Arya's looking for an angle. It must have been a refresh smoke onto the CT Ticket Booth. He's being banged through. He took one to the head. He's got to fall back now. 10 HP. All 3 CTs attempting the retake from Ticket Booth. But GX is very hesitant. They're horrified about what could happen here. And saw him in the same position Arya was in moments ago. Bangs one through the triple box. That's how you do it. 15 seconds down. The CT's starting to get an advantage with the clock. But one refrag there on the top end of Ticket Booth. Do they anticipate 3 players here? Pollo tries his hand at the tall box or triple box plant. And Swag will just spray down 2.
Good round from GX, and Naventic was holding them off really well. Unfortunately, the only person to securing that jungle effort was impsta. When he goes down, GX opens up that entire area of the map. Then you see them only worrying about connector. Eventually, they go for the plant. They do get spammed. The clock starts winding down, but eventually they do close out the round. And now we see that eco come on Naventic's side, and that's where I'm talking about the 10 rounds that GX could hit, no problem here.
So TenZ has, oh, he was a lot further away than I thought. He was coming around to peek the underpass, but he's on his way back towards the B site, and they just broke open the murder hole. So a little bit late right there. GX heard that movement. Swag is defending the T spawn to make sure the homeland is okay, and it looks like that first frag successful for GX. Now, just pistol armor. Next round is really the last crux for the side of Naventic. Impsta has all day and a half to knock down Pollo. Does he find an additional kill? He does not. So now with some mid-control, GX looking to explode in one direction or the other. They still have Swag defending back on T-spawn. Naventic, of course, on the back foot of this one, being a man down and without the weapons, are easily going to be overrun one way or you look at it or not, A or B.
Looks like B. And on that B, they're only going to face the one person in Fighter with a CZ. So look to him to get maybe 1 kill, 2, but not really too much. And him going passive, ooh, maybe that 1 was even a stretch.
Well, TenZ is trying to shoulder peek this one out, but it takes too long to find the first frag. Swag comes around the corner with his rifle, and the Molotov on the back end of the site secures the round virtually at that point. That was a very convincing round, and you wouldn't expect much more, considering it was just some pistols. But Naventic pulling out this double op pretty late, obviously, last round of the half. They're finally able to afford that up, and that's honestly because the rounds have been scattering back and forth. Obviously, if you're not winning rounds consecutively, you're not building up a bank account. But finally, max loss bonus is found, and you're getting yourself a double op in Arya and impsta. Arya in mid, impsta at the ticket booth.
Look at this A explode. Wow.
Real fast. 1 flashbang is all it took to get into the site, and 2 kills. Entries by Swag. Molotov. Now they got all this utility to keep Naventic at bay. Honestly, this seems irrecoverable at this point. A flashbang in. They try and fight for ticket booth. They get mowed down. GX is all more than willing to take commitments of 1 for 2 exchanges. Arya's last up on the last round with just an op. Give her a swing, but it is all but over. Arya 1v4 to the 1v3. Still got utility, still stacking up some bodies. It is traded out 4-11. Now, before we started this match, I said 16-6 or 16-7. Still highly possible. I think for Naventic to hit the 7, they would need this pistol round right now.
They definitely need this pistol round, regardless of the 7. They need this pistol round to even have a chance in this match here, or this could be a 16-4, because what's going to happen here is GX, let's say, takes this pistol. They take this, they take the eco round, they take the first gun round, the match is over. Look at that. So, with that being said, Naventic's really got their back against the wall, and they got to start pushing off with this pistol round.
GX looking to end things early, starting late. Possibility of ending somewhere close to being on time. I don't think they can pull it off. They would need 8 minutes to find 5 rounds. Maybe. It's possible. Might be able to swing it, but they need to do it now. GX don't have the control of the T side to control the pace of the game. Sometimes they can, though, if they manage to feel like they're out-aiming their opponents, which I feel they have been doing tonight. AZK's on top of the van, giving some intel, just shoulder peeking this one. Dapper's up on top of the platform, ready and willing to greet the terrorists on this endeavor if they so choose to come out of the kitchen.
A little bait and switch setup going on. I like it. I like it. How good can AZK make this bait?
Yeah, Fighter's over towards the A side as well. Punching in, the mid player, DaZeD, coming back to the B side. So GX read this one like a book. Pollo's got the first, and now DaZeD coming in for some support. Will pick up where AZK left off.
Oh, yeah.
But look at Dapper on the flank. He was up just on that platform, allowed them into the site. It's a 2-on-2 right now. Som, though, comes into the market, and it's just lowly Pollo. Trying to find this angle against Som, but doesn't have much to work with. 1v2, and the longer he waits, the stronger these post-plant positions become. So he comes back through the window, going to try his best KZ up on top, and he does so successfully. He'll be coming from catwalk, might be able to catch a little bit of surprise, but impsta's there. The timing was great. Impsta had his attention over towards market, and as soon as that last second ticked, he recognized that he could be on catwalk. So Naventic do win that pistol.
And let's see what GX off to do here. Okay, so they're grabbing the armor. Looks like only on Dapper? No, everybody's going to grab it here. Do we have a full save coming out from DaZeD? And we do. And that's so he can get an op going into that first gun round. Naventic, going into that first gun round, they got to take that confidently. Build that economy so if they do lose one round, it's not that big of a blow.
Yeah, GX want to end it right now. They want this force buy. Pretty important round for themselves right now. And they've got a 1-for-1. It could be better if Pollo is able to have long enough arms to recover that weapon. Let's see where that ended up dropping. Oh, that was up on top. Did the gun fall down? Where the hell did that gun go? He was armed, right? Fighter had something. He's
I'm going to go look for it.
I can't find it.
DaZeD did end up buying P250 armor. So, yeah, the MAC-10 is just hanging out up there with the Molotov, but they aren't going to go for it. So, with that happening, and DaZeD picking up the P250 armor, no op unless they really have a strong eco set in these next 2 rounds.
TenZ pushing up through A main. He's got support as well. That's going to be Arya on the high side, and everybody else is following the bomb into the A site. But your defense being DaZeD and Pollo right now. Side by side on the stairs. Ultra passive. Nobody coming in through connectors, making this a little bit dangerous. Smokes come in as well. It's going to choke off jungle. So if there's going to be any attention from the T's, it's over towards ticket booth or towards the stairs. Dapper sprays and is returned straight to sender. TenZ will take both, takes a third. Piece by piece, just AZK left. Arya is very close to AZK and will get the kill. There's Naventic on 2. That was a very, very good round. Even losing Fighter out of the gate, they still made it look strong.
Yeah, losing Fighter out of the gate, GX getting that ramp info, Naventic still picking up that round, keeping 4 people alive. Great job from them. We'll see GX now on that full eco here.
They're only down by 5 rounds. They could do it. This should be a freebie for them.
Yeah.
Fighter keeps the MAC-10 or repurchases the MAC-10. He'll be the frontline man. We see presence in Palace. We see presence to A main. Naventic is just hanging back. They don't want what happened to them last round to be used against them again. Maybe a weapon is forfeit over. I always tout that if you're going to lose an anti-eco round, it's going to be by splitting your forces. But these guys are passive enough, both fighter as well as Arya. As long as one of them doesn't die immediately, they can actually fall back and lean on one another again. And for a CT to push that aggressive without armor is basically an information prod, because you're not anticipated to survive something like that. You're just looking for the bomb location.
For sure here. And now we see the group up towards middle. That mid control most likely coming out. Maybe even the drift towards the B site here. And it looks like a 3-2 split is what their Naventic wants to work towards. And that's falling right into GX, who stacked 3 people on the site.
AZK Dapper swag. It's your trifecta of players that are going to try and defend this site without much of anything. No armor, no real pistols to defend with. They do some chip damage, but it's all for naught. Just DaZeD and Pollo coming off of the A site. Now through market soon enough. Exit frags is as best as it's going to get. DaZeD is just behind the threshold of the door. Arya getting knocked down to the 20s. It's just going to fall back and leave Fighter on the front line with the gangsta-style MAC-10.
I was wondering if he was going to check his right, and he checked it. Good on you, Fighter.
Do you give him an attaboy at that point?
Attaboy. Cheers.
7-11. 3 rounds in a row means that the lead is evaporated to 4.
Huge.
Yeah, this is a big round for both teams, obviously, at this point. A little bit softer for Naventic, considering they can afford 1 round loss. GX would be back down to pistols if they lose this one, however. And it means Naventic's lead, or GX's lead, would be down to 2.
Same default here coming up from both sides early on. Mid control, A halls lurk, someone lower B, trying to work towards that connector.
Up mid for free for the time being. And I say that because that smoking window is going to fade, and DaZeD was thinking about it. He's still thinking about it. They re-smoked that one. Intelligent play from the Naventic. They know that they're vulnerable at this position. They do want to wrap A. The only problem is DaZeD being in jungle soon enough and Dapper in the ladder room. Smoke comes out and sells his own position. So 1 frag with the way of Naventic, they can take their sweet time right now. Full minute on the board. And their wrap on the A site just looks that much more tantalizing. The only problem is there's still 3 people defending right now.
I'm just a little eager there. Should have waited for his team to really help him out. Arya getting dazed, however. Opening up that site. And now they know their A ramp.
Saw him on that one, and Pollo, who had a fantastic spot, actually pushed into A main itself and put himself behind the corner, is eventually snuffed out. AZK is last man standing. Naventic have enough cash to hunt, and it does look like they do begin. Like I said, they had enough cash to afford a loss. They're going to win the round regardless, so spend your money trying to bleed AZK out. They're starting to search. AZK is just on top of the back halls right now, looking at the top end of the stairs. Down towards the underpass. He's got a player in behind him. Fighter dumps it, though. God. Well, here's a flashbang. That could work out beautifully. Oh, but Psalm is gifted. He just sprays through the wooden plyboards, saving his own life.
So you saw Naventic get that entry kill towards the A ramp there. Fighter, the Halls guy that actually made that call, thought that was the only guy. He was falling off to get that M4 that was just killed, and then he ends up flicking to his right and picking up the A ramp guy. Great job from Fighter. That second kill secured them the round.
Like I said, it was going to be Naventic having the gun control here, but DaZeD comes with pistols. It's some frags. Now, it's a 3-on-3. Still weapons advantage to Naventic right now. And the CT's coming in through the... Oh, no. They're still picking up frags. Oh, my goodness. It's all crumbling in front of them. It's just Fighter in a 1v2. A disaster. Could it be another eco round? The 3rd on the board between these teams tonight. It's Fighter looking for it. Now, Dapper wide peaks that one a little bit much, and he knows where AZK's at. Fighter will save the day.
That was close.
Could have been a disaster.
Wow. What started off looking like Naventic were just going to run up, easy plant, easy post plant, DaZeD with that P250 under the balcony, making something of that eco round. Great round from DaZeD here.
Right, the weapons return for GX. And again, at this point with max loss bonus, it's going to be every other round Naventic have a fight up against them with rifles. I mean, last round they looked good with just pistols, but they walked into an ambush. Underneath the window, looks like impsta's here. The smoke comes into the window, gives them a little bit more confidence coming up. Swag is in the connector, and then he's got DaZeD above him as well. Now impsta's just going to park himself still underneath the window. He's surrounded at this point by 3 CTs. As Dapper goes back towards Catwalk, Naventic really want mid control, and if they win this round, they're likely going to end up tying it at 11-all.
GX is going to stay and fight this middle connector here.
Arya's got the op. Re-smokes the mid window. If they take the fight in connector, it's going to be problems. I think Pollo might bait and switch this, but Swag comes out peeking. Swag's still alive, though, in this connector, and he's fighting as best as he can, but I think he went down to his sidearm. Arya was maybe popping off his pistol. I don't know. It was just pistols being rattled out. AZK and Dapper are last men standing. And like I said, if GX dropped this round, likely going to be a tie ball game. And this is a streak that not even GX could perform in the first half. It's going to be 6 rounds in a row. Perfection from Naventic's T side.
Does GX save? Okay, AZK is going to save, but he's probably going to get caught here. Doesn't get out. Money loss bonus. I want to say a force buy with maybe Ump's light armor, but we'll most likely just see pistols and armor here. However, Naventic, 11-4, and now we're at 11-10. On their chance to tie up this game for the first time.
Looking like it's 7 rounds in a row. We did see those pistols be very, very painful for Naventic last, but Naventic spread out. No true aggression, just shoulder peeking here and there, it seems, across the field. Pollo might go up into the same position he was before, peeking into A main, looking for ankles across that little catwalk behind A main, but nobody's home. Naventic just hanging back. They know exactly what they're up against.
Good discipline. Everybody's in almost a double up, quick rotation. Nobody's more than, I'd say, what, maybe 3 seconds apart, with the exception of impsta, who's now moving towards that lower B side.
Yeah, GX on the same kind of coin there. Consolidate a little bit. Nobody's directly on a side, but everybody's still surrounding mid. So you have like 4 players that are kind of near the same positions, being able to put pressure on mid, and Naventic are walking right into that spot. Even though impsta gets this kill, it could still be a problem because the bomb's in tow. If Swag can get one frag and stop the bomb, they don't. They squeak their way up into the connector. Swag's going to try and pursue, but he's out of ammunition. To reassemble that pistol takes far too long, and it's kills across the field. 1-1, 1-1. Naventic have clawed their way back, and GX have no real answer at all for their CT side.
No real answer, no real economy. Naventic poised to take the lead here, put GX back onto a force buy, and take firm control of the second half here, Dallas. You see an aggressive upper B smoke here, so is DaZeD going to push off of that? And it looks like he will be.
Hot flash from Dapper. Oh, but DaZeD just got schooled on by Arya. That's the biggest piece of investment. That's an op down. That leaves your defense weak on B, and it's being reinforced by Swag, which basically removes some kind of mid presence. Swag starts to flow back towards mid. And I mean, you're weak no matter how you look at it if you're GX's side. Maybe DaZeD will be able to do better from the sidelines. Dapper's able to recover this op. Now, that was a slow peek right there. Impsta comes back across that one. Dapper holds this angle and is now staring back towards the stairs, sees the crossover, and he'll jump out of the window. Smokes and flashbangs executing in. Dapper's holding on while Swag is coming across the market for the red light or blue light special, but it's a fake. Pretty obvious fake at this point since nobody's jumping into the site. Fighter is currently mollied off of A main, so the timing from the response is impressive from GX to throw Molotovs into A main after all that utility flooded into B.
Oh, and Naventic pulled off, made them think they're going A, but they're going up cat and resplitting B. This is great.
Clever girl. Dapper is not quite exposed from catwalk, but he will be soon enough. He's got the shot. In fact, it lands on the bomb, looking for the next kill. Not quite as accurate. It only cost them one body to get into this B site. A 3-on-4 retake, not a spot you want. Honestly, I'd say you call the save right here, and you yield out the lead for the first time in this match. After a commanding 7-round lead, it's at least evened up 3-on-3. But Impsta's got an angle, and now coming in through the market for Swag, he has to wait for Pollo, who's now on the catwalk to try and open this up. But we still got a Molotov in play. Fighter still has it up in the apartments. He's not going to make the same mistake that was made prior. I mean, that seems so long ago. It was in the last half. I can't remember who made that that throw from the Molotov from the apartments. Who was that? I think it was Pollo.
Not sure.
Anyways, they do save 2 weapons. So honestly, if I look back, go for broke, go for broke, go for broke, go for broke. That is the first round where GX have deemed it appropriate to save.
You know who has a great fake on this map? FaZe, I believe. It's a great A fake. They use it at the major, and it's honestly one of the best strats I've seen on this map. But look at this force buy on the GX side. A scout.
They push aggressive. Hey, they got something out of this one.
Hey.
They change up the game plan. They almost take an additional one. Psalm has been dinked down to 12 HP, and Pollo's trying to push. They know that there's a dink there. They, in fact, finish off one of the healthy players. They still take this mid-control, body stacked up, and GX have a man advantage. Impsta's flashbang, and he's forced to fall back. The bomb is in between top mid and back towards T apartments. The smoke comes out, and that'll at least secure things up, especially with Fighter working a flank on the backside, securing the A site. Fighter might even take this front line defense on A now that he holds it. He'll take DaZeD, and it's now just Dapper. 1 M4 in tow, and it is looking like it is a disaster on the CT side unless he can pull a rabbit out of his hat. It comes down to a 1-on-1 in one of the rare rounds that have been played out aggressively. We still have just shy of a minute left to go, and Dapper's coming back towards CT, thinking about going to B, just as Impsta makes his way to A. But Dapper's going to hear this Molotov pop, and he'll double back.
I want to say, even if GX wins this round, it's still a rough round to win. 1 person alive. I'm still waiting for Dapper. They might not even get this now. What happens here? Oh, good patience from Impsta, though. Now Dapper's moving up.
Yeah, you get to see how long each player holds one of these angles. You need to hold it sometimes for a half a second longer. Now Dapper in jungle. Impsta still sweating this one out. Oh, he sees him. Tries to post back up, but Dapper just gets the right angle on him. Now this is dangerous. I mean, look how much money Naventic have on the rebuy. Fighter started off just shy of 16K, and the whole team was basically in the same boat at that point. GX had 1 survivor. 1.
Yeah. Getting your round, the 12th round, their first round, almost, well, we're on the 10th, 11th round now into this half. If they lose this game, they've got to save for the majority of the rest of this half now. And that's a rough situation to be in on the GX side.
Yeah, this is real dangerous territory for your GX. Would have much rather seen them take 4 survivors. Even 3 survivors would have been fine. 3 can buy for the 2, even though when you win the round, your money's still just limping along. Those dollar bills aren't being stretched, and this isn't making it any more easy. DaZeD is down into the 40s. Swag is toast. And mid-control is forfeit over to Naventic. So it's a bad situation, only going to get worse soon enough. The smoke plugging off the window. DaZeD is forced to hang back, not pull that trigger. Looks like they're going to take ladder room. So DaZeD actually might be next up on the menu if the T's exploit that aspect. TenZ is at the bottom end of the ladder. The only thing splitting him from DaZeD is a couple steps forward, but they do lose 1 body. That's Impsta down in the connector. They want to split into this A site and leave TenZ on catwalk to catch the rotators, but I don't think anybody's going to rotate this way. They've got the first. In fact, the bomb is out, and another kill comes up. Fighter is able to pick off DaZeD while he's reloading another shot, and it's Dapper again. Now just TenZ. 1v2, and he has to fall out of this ladder room to make a whole lot of racket to sell out his position. So he will slowly clamber down the ladder and try and recover this one with only 20 seconds, but he's going to have to put his Nikes on. He jumps into the connector, and he's going to be split between 2 CTs. With 16 seconds left, he picks up an AWP, and he just touches the bomb once. He needs this kill immediately. AZK executes to the back. GX recovers the lead.
And they were able to gamble stack early because AZK did a great job pushing up, taking the risk in that round, and getting B Hall's control. Able to tell his teammates there, hey, nobody's B Halls this late in the round. Chances are it's B. I'll just hide up here if they do come B and net myself 2 kills. Great round from AZK making that move. And now GX, it took them a while, but we're seeing their rounds now.
Last play with AKs aplenty into the A side. They've already lost 2 bodies. Maybe they want to give up the ghost. 3 bodies now stack up with bomb down. I think they were starting to actually get into their own heads right now, Naventic were. Because GX, the way they started this momentum 2 rounds ago was by playing aggressive. They're really just upset. Now impsta just mows down Pollo and Swag, who over pursue. impsta will find enough support for himself or leave space. Duck that shot. By all means, duck it. Now AZK takes the duel and wins it. Now there was a
that could have been scary.
Yeah, impsta could have done a lot more work with those first 2 kills on A main and then taking a 1v1 bout on T spawn. Could have been dangerous.
Just like that. This buy coming up on Naventic's side. Look at their money. Not in the greatest spot now. GX winning this round. Basically, I'd want to say puts them in the driver's seat for the final round, where maybe we're going to see AKs coming out. We'll see at least 3 people pull out AKs, maybe 4, but definitely not the strongest buy, missing ops and things like that.
Yeah. Well, we got to remember, that's 3 rounds in a row Naventic have lost, and they've bought up every one of those rounds. That's how much money they had. They want A. They want it bad. Swag throws a Molotov. He's just staring fighter down, sees the Molotov come in. The Molotov goes down below, though. Swag now holding this upper side, takes that frag, and he can at least breathe a sigh of relief. He tries to just 4-square bounce that grenade down, but it's still a lot of kills in favor for GX. It's only Arya with an off. Oh! He misclicked. Or didn't left click. The bullet gets stuck in the barrel or something. It looked like he had him dead to rights, but he pulls out his knife, and it's 15. A dry spell, if I've ever seen one, for GX to start out the half. I believe that was 8 rounds in a row for Naventic before it's responded by 4 of GX, who's looking to get their 5th to close this matchup.
And there it is. The buy coming in. Everybody's got rifles. We're going up against DaZeD in middle. It's a scary sight to be a rifle in. Not just because it's DaZeD, you know what I mean? Because it's an op in middle. You got to worry about that. I'm not saying DaZeD's gonna, you know what I'm saying.
I'm actually super impressed. Naventic's economy has held on for every round so far.
It's now finally taking that. Yeah.
And you know what? If there were more rounds than this and they just continue to get the bomb plant down, they could continue to buy round after round after round. So this is do or die for Naventic after it looked like they actually had a solution. Like I said, GX played aggressive that one round, and all of a sudden Naventic just overthought some situations and ended up dropping a couple rounds. Now 2 peek down into the ladder room. They'll find Dapper. That's still mid-control in favor. GX has had trouble defending this B side, especially when Naventic have mid-control. They boost TenZ up on top of the box right now. This is a pretty dangerous spot. And another aggressive push. That was Pollo all the way back and through the palace. They execute now into the B site, and it's looking